Hello, my pandemic pre-calculus friends. In this video, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I'm going to try to make shorter videos for this unit so that you can choose how to spend your time better and you can fit work into smaller chunks. So in this video, I'm just going to show you how you can recognize the graph of a polynomial function. So to start off, I'm just going to tell you two characteristics that the graphs of polynomial functions have. So the graphs of polynomial functions are smooth and continuous. And smooth, they are smooth and continuous. Okay, well, that's nice, but what does that mean, right? So smooth here, when I say that the graph is smooth, what I mean by smooth, is that there are no sharp corners or jagged edges. No sharp corners or jagged edges. And what do I mean by continuous? What does that mean? What am I saying when I say that this is a continuous graph? So by continuous, what I mean by that is that there are no breaks or gaps in the graph. But honestly, with these, the best thing to do is to look at a couple of graphs for me to doodle a couple for you. And I think that shows us a lot more clearly what we are looking for. So let me give myself an X and a Y axis. Here's, I'll start with the Y, my beautiful Y axis, and my beautiful X axis. So this is the X axis. And this is the Y axis. And I'll draw you a graph that is smooth and continuous. Smooth and continuous. So if I showed you this graph, even though I'm not defining the function for you, I'm not telling you what the equation is that describes this function, you could tell me this is a polynomial. This curve right here is a smooth curve. There's no sharp corners, no jagged edges anywhere that I can see. And this is also a continuous function because as I draw it, I don't even have to lift up my stylus. You might have heard that definition of continuity before. There's no gaps, and there's no sharp corners, no jagged edges. So that you should be able to recognize and say right away is a continuous function. Or not just a continuous function, but a polynomial function. So now I'm going to do 4 little mini examples that I want you to take a look at. Some of them are graphs of polynomials. Some of them are not. So what I want you to do is look at each one, and I want you to tell me, is this a graph of a polynomial function, yes or no? And if the answer is no, I want you to tell me what's wrong with it. Is it not smooth? Is it not continuous? What's the deal? So we'll start here with this one. I tried to copy and paste to save myself a little bit of time, but that didn't work out. So we'll start with one here. So this we'll call this graph A, and this is what graph A looks like. That's graph A. We'll do graph B right here. And this is what graph B looks like. And we'll do graph C down here. And this is what graph C looks like. And we'll do graph D right over here. And this is what our graph D is going to look like. So I want you to take a look and tell me which of these are polynomials. Which of these graphs would be a polynomial graph? And then I also want you to think about why, if it's not a polynomial, why it's not a polynomial. So I'll go ahead and I'll suggest that you pause the video and see if you can identify which of these graphs are polynomials and which are not. Did you pause? Are you back? Are you ready for the answer? I'll show you anyway. So I'm going to highlight in green the one and only polynomial graph that we have here. This is a polynomial. It is both smooth and continuous. There's no jagged, sharp edges, and there's no jumps or gaps. The rest of these, I'm going to highlight just the letter, because we're going to talk about them. They're not polynomials. None of these are polynomials, all for different reasons, all for different reasons. So graph B is smooth. There's no jagged edges. It is smooth. Yeah. But it's not continuous. This gap here, there's a big jump in between these 2 points. So it's not continuous. That's what makes this not a polynomial. For C, our graph is nice and continuous. There's no gaps, there's no breaks, it's continuous. But I have this sharp edge right here, making it not smooth. And if it's not smooth, it can't be a polynomial. And graph D is the worst of both worlds. Look, I have these sharp edges, so it's not smooth. And I also have this big gap here, so it is not continuous. And if you were able to go through A, B, C, and D, and you feel like that's sinking in and you're getting that, then I think you are pretty much done with this video. All right, my friends, stay safe out there. I hope you're well, and I'll see you in the next one.